Imagine your marriage healthy, thriving, and fun again. Welcome to the Coach Martez and Wadrina Show, the ultimate power couple helping you with understanding love, accepting truth, and changing perspective. Certified professional life and marriage coach Martez Layton and licensed therapist Wadrina Layton are here to help you step up your game when it comes to marriage, relationships, and so much more. With 30 years of marriage under their belt and a proven track record of mending broken bonds, you can rely on Coach Martez and Wadrina to empower you and your loved ones to have a strong connection for life. The Coach Martez and Wadrina Show starts now.
Good afternoon. How's everyone doing? And, we just want to say thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for taking the time to be a part of our show. I'm Coach Martez.
And I'm licensed therapist Wadrina Layton. Welcome.
Welcome, welcome. And you are listening to the Coach Martez and Wadrina Layton Show on Transformation Talk Radio. Stay with us the next hour as we share 3 keys to immediately improve the communication in your relationship.
Yes, that is so important. And we are looking forward to having an enjoyable conversation around walking out the journey of love, life, and fulfilling purpose. Every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on Transformation Talk Radio, we will have practical tips, new insights, perspectives, along with life and relationship tips that will help you to improve your relationships, communicate better, walk in forgiveness, and simply help you to love better. But last but not least, we are here to provide motivation and encouragement to you fulfilling your destiny, purpose, and dreams.
Yes, man, that was a lot. That was good.
Yeah, that's our purpose.
Yeah. Well, we always like to start the show off with just a fun fact for you all, just to kind of get to know us a little bit better. So we'll probably just talk about like our favorite movies. I'll start with me. I got a few of them, but I would probably say my favorite movie, because I love action, is definitely the Matrix trilogy. And I know this is old school and I'm telling my age, but like I say, you get to know us better. I am 50 years old, and I'll say Rocky 3. But the Matrix trilogy and Rocky 3 are some of my favorite movies. I literally know every line. And if you want to try me or test me on that, just test me. I promise you, I know every line. So that's for me.
Yeah.
Matrix trilogy, Rocky trilogy.
Okay, Matrix trilogy and Rocky.
And I think trilogy. I know hers, but anyway.
Yeah, I know you know mine. I love romantic comedies. So my favorite movie that I could watch every day, and I can quote the lines as well, is, what is it, Martez?
The Wedding Proposal.
That is The Wedding Planner.
Wedding Planner, okay.
The Wedding
the
Planner.
Other one is The Proposal.
Yeah, Proposal, yeah. I like that one too. But The Wedding Planner is my favorite movie, really, of all time.
But actually, you kind of misled him a little bit, because you said I could watch it every day. Literally, the Proposal or The Wedding Planner somehow finds itself on the TV on some channel. So
if it's on, I'll cut it on and just let it play. I know the words.
Because you like it so much, I know all the lines. So my son and my daughter, they be laughing because we watching the movie. And I'm saying the lines because I know them all, but we done watched it for so long.
Exactly.
But anyway, that's just a fun fact about us. We are definitely big movie people.
Yes.
And I would say, I was going to say we really like eating out and stuff, but honestly, I'm a plain person. But yeah, I was going to say, yeah. But anyway, that's just a fun fact about Coach Martez and Wadrina. But again, so glad you guys are joining us. And today we want to help you learn and begin to put into practice 3 keys that will dramatically impact your communication. Not next week, not next month, not next year, but today. And one of the things I would like to ask you is, do you ever say to yourself, I'm going to stop talking to my partner or my spouse because of waste of time? They simply don't get it.
We hear that so much. So I know somebody that's listening has said that before. And then also another thing that, we hear a lot is, my wife has no idea how I really feel, or my husband has no idea of what I have to put up with. Well, Martez and I totally understand. We understand how frustrating not being understood is, because for the first 16 years of our marriage, we were not understanding one another.
No, we were not.
We were on two separate pages.
And and I just want to say that just in full transparency, we're always transparent with the couples that we work with, and just over our lives of doing what we do in work and ministry, or whatever that may capacity we are in. We're always just transparent. And I like to tell people, for the first 16 years of my marriage, I really would have to say I was failing as a husband, but I was hitting a home run as a dad. I mean, I was a good dad. Would you agree?
Oh, I agree. You were awesome dad.
I normally tell my clients, if I'm individually working with them, if Wadrina's in the session, she'll tell you. But I just like to let you know, as you're listening, this is something from experience. Yeah. So we're sharing this knowledge, but I want you to know I was not a good communicator, but I had to make a decision to learn how to communicate better, understand it better. So I just want to say that to somebody that's listening, that, I promise you'll never feel like we may be speaking down to you in any way, because again, this is over 30 years of marriage that now we're sharing these things, but I just wanted to share that. Yes,
and you have to be willing to actually change.
Right.
And so that's the first step when it comes to communication. Before we even get into the keys, we're going to share with you the keys, but you have to be willing to change and to apply them to your relationship.
Yeah.
And so in order for change to happen, you have to use the tools. You have to do it. And like we've always said, you always hear us say this, marriage is work. It's fun. It's rewarding, but you have to do the work.
Yeah. Yeah. So looking at the first key, and this is something that we want you to really understand, because again, we're talking about immediate changes. I'm saying if your husband's at work, or if you're working at home, and we have been having that conflict in our home, we have been having that confrontation. What can I do to change that?
Yeah.
And one of the first things I want to say is be willing to ask and learn from each other what speaks love to you and what speaks respect to you. What speaks love to your partner and what speaks respect, and ask, what does respect look like to you? And what does love look like to you? Because again, to all of us is different. So the first key that can immediately change everything is actually showing love and showing respect.
Yes.
Because most of the time when the communication has started to break down, one of the partners has either felt devalued, unappreciated, or unloved.
Yes.
And sometimes the other partner could feel like, man, I'm always showing love.
Right.
I'm always doing that. But if you find out that's not the case, so that would be one of the first things I would immediately say is ask your spouse, ask your partner, what does love look like to you? And what speaks respect to you? And how does that look?
Right, exactly. Because a lot of times we don't know.
Right.
And so, we hear this a lot too, where if I have to tell him, then it doesn't mean the same. It's not as genuine, but no, it is. Like, how is he supposed to know how to love you if you don't tell him how? And a lot of times with men, they really just, I'm married to a special man. He's very affectionate. He's
haven't always been.
Yeah, he hasn't always been. I have to say he had to be trained on that.
Yeah, I agree
and that's what, and I agree. And I was gonna agree, but I was gonna say a lot of women, you can, your spouse and vice versa, they can be trained on how to love you the way you need to be loved. Exactly. And so with a lot of women, most women desire affection. That's what a lot of women desire, and they want to hear, they want to know that you care about them.
Right.
So a lot of times that's in touch. That's in you communicating that, showing that you really appreciate and value them for all that they do, in your relationship, but you have to do it with your words. But the reason why I said that, I'm married to a special man, because you have no problem with words.
Oh,
yeah. Now touch was your issue.
My low love.
Right. Your low love and language, but that was an area you had to grow in. But with words, oh yeah, Martez is the master of the words.
God, that's a gift. I just say, yeah, that's a gift. But again, when you all are showing, love and respect and asking those questions, and again, the question you want to ask your spouse, what speaks love to you?
Yes.
And what speaks respect to you? And then you want to know, what does respect look like, and what does love look like to you? So then that way, when we're going to be communicating, you don't feel disrespected, but the other person doesn't know they're disrespecting you.
Yeah.
From the man speaking to the woman, you don't feel unloved if he doesn't know that he's not doing that.
Right.
So that's one of the things that, I say you want to do first. And then I just want to say this to the brothers, to the men, most women are going to hear love and appreciation and value in your words, the way you talk to them, because that's one of the things that changes communication over time rather quickly. If a woman feels as if, what I say to you, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really mean anything, because you're still going to do exactly what you want it to do. But then to that woman, she's not feeling like her words are valued. She's not feeling like you are appreciating her knowledge, her wisdom,
That's
or
right.
her gifts that she may have.
Exactly. They need to know that we need to know that we're valued and that we're really appreciated. So, and that's key. We need to know that, we want to have intimate conversations with you, and we want to know that you're present and you're hearing me and you understand me and you're able to empathize with me.
Right.
And so that's something that, we need so that we can feel loved.
No, I was just gonna say again, that's something that of course we know, because there was a time in our marriage I didn't value Adrena's
That is
words.
so true.
She would know
They went in one ear and out the other.
Martez is gonna do what
What he
Martez wants to do. And that was really common. So that's why I say again, you want to value and appreciate your spouse's words.
Yep. And then also with men need to hear respect and honor in your words to them. So for the women, men need to hear that. So they need to know that you appreciate the work that they do.
Right.
They need to know that, you're there. I appreciate you as my provider.
Right.
I appreciate you as my protector.
Right.
So they need to know that they need you to communicate that to them.
And then I just want to say, remember this, one of the things that can definitely hurt your husband or hurt your partner is if you respect or you show more respect to your father or other men than you do to them. And sometimes it just may also be one of your friends, because they want to feel as if you do respect me, you do honor me and actually what I bring and provide. And that's very important in a relationship.
So we want you to remember that also when you are communicating. So when you all take the time to ask your spouse, what does love look like to you? What does respect look like to you? You need to make sure that there are no distractions. Right. Put the phone down, turn the TV down, because distractions show a lack of importance. Right. So that's very important in communicating, because you need to know that.
Right. Because what distraction shows is you're willing to give something else more a priority than you give to me. So just remember, that's what a distraction says when you're turning or you're looking down or you're really focusing on something else. Then in actuality, that distraction has more priority than me. But when you are trying to improve your relationship, you want to let your spouse or your partner know nothing is more important than you.
Yes.
You are what matters. You are what's important.
All right. So we're going to come back. We need to take a break, but we're going to come back and finish discussing that first key. So you are listening to the Coach Martez and Wadrina Layton show. We will continue our discussion on the keys to put into practice that can immediately improve the communication in your relationship.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Welcome back. And you are listening to the Coach Martez and Wadrina Layton show. Again, I'm Coach Martez, and this is my wife,
Wadrina Layton.
licensed therapist, Miss Wadrina Layton.
Right.
Today, we're talking about the 3 keys that would dramatically impact your communication in your relationship. But before we continue, I want to make sure everyone knows how to connect with us on social media. If you want to connect or work with my wife and I, visit our website at dreambuilderscoaching.net, on Facebook, Dream Builders Marriage Coaching and Counseling, Instagram, Coach Martez, Instagram at Wadrina Layton, Twitter at Coach Martez, at Wadrina L. Again, my wife is a licensed therapist. I'm a certified professional life and marriage coach. We work with couples together, and we also work with people and couples individually. I do life coaching as well, but primarily, most of my clients are dealing with relationship and just ways to improve it. But this is what we do for a living. But we are enjoying talking to everyone. People have been telling us for years, you all need to keep this going. And so we are back doing it. And thank you so much for listening. And I just want to shout out Retha Sims, one of the people who are one of our city ambassadors for the Married for Life walk that we'll kind of talk about early. But thank you, Retha. She actually talked about.
So basically, she commented on you. Well, we're talking about the 3 keys that will dramatically impact communication today in your relationship. And in the first key, where we were saying you got to ask your spouse, what does love look like to them? What does respect look like to them? And Retha commented, also learn your partner's love language. And that is so true. That's a part of when you ask your spouse, what does love look like to them? Their primary love language is really how they desire to be loved, along with the affection and the respect. So you just want to make sure that you know your partner's love language. So that was very important to bring out as well, Retha.
Thank you, Miss Retha Sims, up there in Ohio, Columbus, Ohio. But also, we just want to say, if you would like to call in, there's a number there on the screen that you can use to call in with the question. If you want to leave a question or a comment, if you want to just type it there while you're there on Facebook, you can actually type the question. And of course, the producer is going to get it over to us. But again, we're going to just kind of finish talking about this love and respect. And how
what does that look like?
Because I promise you, if a man feels disrespected, if you want to start changing that, then you start showing him respect. Now he's going to start listening. In the same way with a woman, if she doesn't feel valued and appreciated, it's like she becomes tone deaf to you, to the things that you're asking or to the things that you're desiring. So again, this is what we mean by this is immediate. This changes where it's almost like, you talking to me? For real? You really are respecting me? You really are valuing me? Wow, what happened? I listened to the Coach Martez and Wadrina Layton show today, and that's what Coach was saying.
That's so funny. All right. And so women, we hear through the emotional security and trust. So basically,
this is for the brothers.
When you're showing us affection, that's how that we feel emotional security. Our trust continues to build with you when we know that you genuinely care about us, that you're really concerned about us, that you value my passion, that my presence means a lot to you. So basically that has to be communicated to your spouse. I value your passion. Sit down, have a conversation with her, ask her what's her passion, and be in tune. Like I said, put down the phone, cut the TV off. I know it's football season, but cut it off and just really look her in the eye and give her your undivided attention and find out how much, what her passion is. Then she knows that you value her, that her presence means a lot to you.
No, that's good. And now when we're talking about value or passion, and we're just saying, from the women primarily, because that's that emotional being that they are, when I say value their passion, if you have the kids, you have the work, you have your husband, you have other things you're doing, then you really, as a man, you really want to ask yourself, when does my wife have time for herself? When is she able to do something that she enjoys, that she's passionate about? Because once that love and that passion tank becomes empty, it's like they are drained to give you what you're wanting. So that's why it helps when a woman's emotional security is like, you care about my emotions, you
Yeah.
care about my feelings, and you are in tune with me. You're in
Exactly.
tune with my challenges. You're in tune with the stresses instead of not even knowing
Mhm.
anything. And I'm saying this from being a man. And then we talk about your presence,
Mhm.
because sometimes, a woman can feel like I'm invisible.
Mhm.
He sees the kids, he sees the dog, he sees the yard, he sees the neighbors, he sees his friends. But with me, it's like I'm doing all of this,
Yeah.
but my presence is not that
Yeah.
important.
It's not
And
valuable.
so that's going to affect the communication. And so again, we just want you to always make sure not only the passion, but you're also understanding. I want you to know your
Mhm.
presence
Mhm.
means something to me.
Mhm.
Because back when she was your girlfriend, whether it was those jeans that caught your eyes, whether it was her smile, whatever it was that caught her eyes, caught your eyes as a man. Back then, when you first met her, when she walked in the room, you could be talking to your boys, your partners, you like, bam, man, my girl is here. Boom.
Yeah.
Why? Because her presence caught your attention and you was focusing on her. We got to keep that in our relationship.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so, Martez, tell me about a man's body language. What does a
man.
man's body
Yeah.
language speak to his wife?
Now this is good, fellas, because because again, when a woman is talking to you, it's not like we'll just talk with our shoulders. I'm okay. I mean, okay. You always want me to do this. You know what I'm saying? It's like you are talking, but then you're disrespecting your wife or your partner by the way your body's move. Oh man, all this. You know what I'm saying? It's like your body is telling them you really don't want to do it. You really don't care what they're saying.
Mhm.
And so that's the reason why also the way your body language speaks to a woman when she's speaking to you shows you are important. Because you know what? Just think about this, fellas. Real talk now, real talk. Your body language back in the day, like again, I'm 50 years old.
Mhm.
If your body language was wrong,
Mhm.
when you said something to your mom,
Mm.
just think about y'all. Like
Yeah,
I said,
we
I'm from
won't say
Birmingham,
nothing.
Alabama. You know what happened back then. And like what you say, you didn't say nothing, but the way your body responded,
Exactly.
it said things. Whether that was your mama, whether that was your grandmother, or whether that was your auntie, they were demanding respect for the way you talk to them.
Exactly.
But guys, that's the same way we got to be with our wives. Our body language has to actually surrender and show I love you and what you say matters. And I want my body to be in line with my heart and my mind and my respect for you.
That is correct.
That
is so true. Yeah, I know. I was going. I'm trying. I'm about
we
to
got
go
Brenda McGregor. So what? We just got the Married for Life Walk people. Our key players here just chiming in for us. Validation is key.
That's right.
Thank you, Miss McGregor.
Validation
down in the ATL with us.
All validation is key. That is so true. And that way we as women, we need to know that when we're talking to you, you're listening. We're validated. We need to know we're valued, and our opinion is validated. So we need that.
Right.
That's key in improving communication, and not only that, that's improving that intimacy.
That is
that's a key. That's a key to intimacy as well. That validation it is.
All right, so that's again going back. The first key is definitely showing respect.
Yeah.
As a woman to a man, as a man to a woman, you want to be showing love and know how love speaks and what love looks like to them, to each other, and vice versa. But you got to show respect. And
then, like we said, you got to ask them, and you have to be willing to learn and change.
That's correct.
So if it's something that when you ask, if you get a response and it's something that you're not doing, don't take offense.
Please don't.
Just say, okay, babe, you know what? I'm gonna do that. I'm really gonna work on that, and I'm gonna do that. So you just want to, that's something you want to just be open to, because that's the only way you're going to be able to maintain a happily married life, is to actually just be willing to learn and change. That's key. So the second key to improve your communication today is to, and I mentioned this earlier, I guess I didn't look ahead at my keys. I forgot. Look into the eyes of the person you are talking to when you're talking to them, and then acknowledge them in their words.
That's true.
That's just true. Take the time to look at them when you're talking to them. Don't talk through walls. That's what we always say. Martez and I say this to each other today. Like, don't talk to wall. Don't talk through the walls. Walk around. Come talk to me.
Look at me.
Look at me.
And so that's what we want to just say, honestly, when you all are talking to one another, again, your presence is important. I want to see you, so when you're talking to that person, and you're communicating, let them know, let's look at each other. Instead of me talking to the back of your head, you looking at TV, I'm talking to your head. So you're talking here, you're talking to my head. You're not talking to me. And then with me, you're screaming things, whether it's upstairs or downstairs. It's not even where it's like you're important enough for me to come look at. Now, this is something I want to say to everybody. I want everybody to listen to me. How many times is that the way you talk to your boss? The person that you work for? You talk to your pastor? You know what I'm saying? People that you value and you highly respect. You don't talk to the back of their heads. You actually look at them. You get their attention. Or when they're talking to you, you're letting them know, I'm listening to you. Well, the same respect that you show your boss or that father, that mother, whoever that person that you value, that's the same way you got to do your spouse. Same way. Because we do it at work, but then we get home.
And we act like we don't have that skill anymore. I mean,
you got to look at each other in the eyes.
It's like,
you got to take the time and just understand, you know what, you may have got on my nerves, but in actuality, I owe you the respect and just saying, no problem, baby. Let me just see you.
That's what I was going to say. It just goes back to that love and respect. It just goes back to that, because when you love someone and respect them, you're going to take the time to look in their eyes and acknowledge, them for their words and value, show them value and appreciation so that they can feel validated. So when we come back, we're going to touch on one more point. It's underneath this second key, but it's time for us to take another break. But you have been listening to the Coach Martez and Wadrina Layton show. And when we come back, we will continue this discussion on these 3 keys that are going to improve your communication in your relationship today, but you have to apply them. Exactly.
Let's go.
Stay tuned. We are back. Welcome back to the Coach Martez and Wadrina Layton show. We have been discussing the 3 keys that can dramatically impact your communication in your relationship today if you apply them and make the changes. But we want to, we have been talking about
during the break,
we had mentioned something to each other, and we forgot to say that's very important.
Right. Now, this can go for the husband or the wife or the female or male partner. And that is the aggressiveness or the tone in your voice. Now we forgot to mention that, because I thought about that. I'm like, see, you could be showing love or you could be showing respect, but if you don't realize that you got an elevated tone, because that's how Wadrina used to say it with me. She would just say, your tone is getting high. Your tone is getting high. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
and see, you may not think your tone is getting high, but it is. So you need to listen to your spouse and allow your spouse to be the judge of that, and you not judge yourself. Because a lot of times we can't accurately judge ourselves with our tone, like when we're speaking to somebody, because if we're speaking with passion, like with me, I'm a loud talker naturally. I just talk loud. So I mean, that's just natural for me. So Martez, sometimes I'd be like, okay, come down a notch. And so then I have to come down. I mean, it's no aggression, but he'll say, I don't know, that's coming off kind of aggressive. But I'm just a loud talker. I just talk loud. So
Yeah.
sometimes when I get to going, it may come off. So I say, I
Right.
guess it does come off aggressive, because I'm listening. He says it's aggressive. So I'm like, okay, well, let me calm down and work on my assertive communication a little bit more.
But again, and again, that's what we just want to say, because I always tell everybody, never evaluate yourself. Always ask your spouse, your partner, how is it to you? Because again, your tone, you may say, no, this is just my regular tone. But if that tone really kind of bothers you really want to just kind of listen and then say, well, help me. I've even had couples that will actually record. I say, you know what, just record. So then that way, when you record it and you go back and listen to it, you can hear yourself like the way your spouse hears you, if you don't really feel like, wow, my tone is really a little aggressive. Because in actuality, you definitely want to also, with everything else, with the love and respect, acknowledging through looking into the eyes and really taking the time to value their presence. You also want to make sure that your tone is in a way that doesn't show aggressiveness to it.
That is so true. And then you want to actually make sure that you respond to whatever they're saying with appreciation and value, instead of reacting with negative energy and an attitude. So true. Even if you don't, agree with what they're saying, you still want to make sure you're watching how you respond, and that because your energy speaks volumes. Right. So a lot of times you could, like, I remember Martez used to tell me this all the time, my silence, it's just he was like, I'm just hearing everything you saying, because my silence spoke volumes. So
that's energy.
Right, because that's that negative energy. So you want to make sure that when you are communicating with your spouse, that you respond with appreciation and value, even if you don't like what you hear them saying.
Right. Now, I want to just say that again. I know we may have said that kind of fast, but in actuality, you can have a spouse that's saying, I ain't even saying that to you. I wasn't even talking. But again, like we're saying, if your energy is screaming, if your attitude is screaming, your mouth may not be saying a word, but your energy and your attitude is actually speaking loud enough. So this is how I want you to think about it. Normally, when you are reacting, you're taking retaliation. And you're not really thinking. So that's why we really want you to respond, and respond with appreciation and just value and understanding, to really realize, let me understand what you're saying, instead of retaliating and then coming at you with this energy and this
negative energy and this attitude.
That is so true.
So that's key.
So we just wanted to kind of add that to that, because I forgot. I'm like, that tone can get you.
Yeah. All right, so though we've been discussing the first two keys, so we're gonna move into the third key. You okay with that?
Let's do it.
All right.
This is my favorite part.
I know, that's why this is Martez's favorite part. He's very good at this too. The third key,
by the way.
Yeah, you are. The third key when you're communicating is to create a visual picture. For women, if you're communicating to your husband, create a visual picture. Men are more visual. Right. So, and you can talk more about that, because really Martez does a great job at it. And I kind of learned, how to do it when I'm communicating to him. Sometimes he's like, that's really good. I understand. So explain that to him.
So basically it's one of those things where I remember a book that I read by a pastor of ours there in Chesapeake, Virginia, Bishop K. Brown. And in the book, I remember he talked about men are visual. But I remember, it's like with a lot of things, you hear things, you read things, but then it's like God, the Spirit, just kind of takes it to another level or place for you. And so for me, it was one of those things to understand. I want everybody to hear me. Men hear words with their ears, but they listen to images with their heart. So in other words, what I'm saying is, when you are talking to your husband, many times women get frustrated because it's like, you just don't get it. You just don't understand. And I'm telling you, if you have been talking to them, most likely they don't get it and they don't understand. So then you say, so coach, how do you change that? The way you change that is you have to create an image for your feeling. And what does that mean? You have to take the time to mentally paint a picture for them. So what I mean, paint a picture could be something you saw on TV that they saw, that you bring them back to that image. It could be a video, it could be a regular picture that you had, or you can actually create a picture. So what I mean by create a picture, your tongue really becomes the brush, but your mind is what's letting them actually see something to help them understand. So in other words,
Yeah,
if
give an
all right, so let me
example.
just give an example.
Mhm.
Okay, so for you to just say, your spouse asks you, you're a woman and you're trying to tell your husband, it's really a lot going on here at the house.
Mhm.
And then you're saying, I really could use your help.
Mhm.
And then that's what you say to him, it's a lot with everything going on here at the
Mhm.
house. It's a lot going on,
Mhm.
and I really could use your help.
Mhm.
Now, women, y'all may not like this, but what your husband just heard you say is, you could use my help, and there's a lot going on. But you know what? In his head, he's saying, it's a lot going on with me at work too. It's a lot that I got to do right now. We both just got a lot going on.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
That's
Yeah.
what he heard.
Mhm.
Right. So this is what I mean by paint a picture. Because really what you were saying was, I'm overwhelmed and I need help.
Mhm.
So
Right.
then what a picture would look like to him is this. Now what I want to show you is that here I am. I'm carrying things in this arm. I'm carrying things, not things. I'm carrying whether it may be something like eggs or something like, let's just say, jewelry or something like this. And I'm overloaded with things in my hand. And if I don't get help, when it falls, it cracks, it breaks,
Mhm.
it shatters, and it's destroyed. So what I'm saying is I can't keep holding this and keep it in place without it being destroyed.
Mhm.
So I have valuables. I
Mhm.
have things that could shatter. I'm carrying glass.
Mhm.
So I got glass vases. I got glass, I got jewelry
Yeah.
or things that can really break in my hand.
Mhm.
And I'm really overloaded. And I can't do this without help, because if anything else gets on me, everything is going to fall. Everything is going to crack, be splattered, and be destroyed. So now what that man, what he just felt is, oh, right now, there is so much upon you that you are overwhelmed and you need some help.
Mhm.
Now that you paint a picture for him, he understands the fact that, oh, you know what, babe? I make it carry that. I make it help this. Let me show you how to put this down and like that.
Exactly.
That's what I mean by as far as a picture.
Mhm.
Give him something to show, I am overwhelmed.
Mhm.
Another example will be, in which we talk about, is always use an image that your
Mhm.
man, your husband can relate to, or that he or she loves. So in
Yes.
other words, if you are feeling lonely, you are feeling like, you are all by yourself.
Mhm.
Then if you all have a child, you just ask yourself, how would you feel, or how would you think our daughter would feel, is after school, everybody, parents came and picked her up, and
Mhm.
she's sitting right there at the school steps. Everybody, parent has come to get her. Everybody's gone, and now she's there by herself.
Mhm.
What does
That's
she
good right
feel
there.
like
Mhm.
knowing she's by herself?
Yeah.
Now, once he understands, he's gonna feel like they forgot about me.
Mhm.
They left me here. Something could happen. I'm by myself. I'm
Mhm.
alone, and they
Mhm.
feel hurt. Then that's when you say, that's the way I feel when I come home. Like it's just me. I'm
Yeah.
all by myself. Everybody's doing their own thing, and nobody's really caring about me.
Mhm.
That is a image.
Yes. And sometimes you got to work at it, because I know for me, it took me a while to work at, really being able to paint those pictures. But if you take it like he says, and
It takes time.
it takes time, but because I always tell him he's gifted at that. But if you take the time to really relate it, like you said, to something that your spouse cares
relate
about,
to.
values, respects,
Yes,
or
that's true.
loves,
They gonna connect.
they can connect, especially
Mhm.
when you do it like related to like how one of your children may be feeling or something like that.
Mhm.
They usually can connect and
Yeah.
and get the feeling.
If you're feeling angry, just ask them, how would you feel if somebody showed you in a store where somebody pushed your grandmama down and then shoved her and said, get out the way, grandmama. What you
Mhm.
gonna want to do? That man in his mind, oh, I'm angry. I'm
Mhm.
mad as all get out. That's the way I feel when you do that to me.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
angry. I feel like you just shoved my feelings or pushed what I said
Mhm.
out the
Yeah.
way. Well, I'm telling you, those
Yeah.
images change things.
Yeah. For men especially.
Especially because
Especially for
all
men.
men, listen, ladies, all men are visual.
And that's going to help with a lot of your issues when you say, he just doesn't get me, he just doesn't understand. And if you come across a husband and you do all of that and he still doesn't get it, then you got some problems. That's what I was going to say. We have some problems. So, yeah, because after that, they really should be able to relate.
They're going to be able to connect to a visual. I promise you. They're going to be able to see how you feel or how it makes you feel when you give them an image.
Exactly.
And always just shoot us an email or something. We'll talk about that a little bit more. If you got a question of how would I paint an image for this, I'm telling you, we would love to answer that question for you. You know, call in, leave a message and say, how do you paint a picture for this? I promise you, I can show you how to paint a picture.
Yeah, man, he can do that. Okay, so we're going to go and take another quick break, but this is the Coach Martez and Wadrina Layton show. And when we return, Coach Martez is going to share an inspirational word. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Welcome back. We are back on the Coach Martez and Wadrina Layton show. Today, we have been discussing 3 keys that will dramatically impact your communication in your relationship today.
Yes.
So we're going to just recap those 3 before we move forward. But I know when we were on break, you mentioned something that you wanted to say about what we were just talking about.
Again, when we were talking about understanding how men are visual and creating pictures, I just wanted to remind everyone how, when you remember when the saying is a picture is worth 1,000 words, because what happens is the image that you create for your spouse, especially those men, what it does is that image can say things that you may not be able to find the words for. It can say things that you may not be able to find the words for. It's just like, for some people, cards, like me being an affirmation person, you know, Wadrina can get a card that she may not have could have came up with those words, but that card says it and it really touches. And that's what I'm saying when it comes to getting your spouse, especially men, again, to understand how you feel. I promise you, you got to get an image, because that image is going to process in their mind. They're going to process it differently, and it's going to affect their emotional tank differently than from them just hearing it through their ears.
Okay, that's good, Martez. Coach Martez.
Thank you so much.
So we want to go back and just recap our 3 keys
today
that can impact your relationship today, your communication in your relationship today.
Exactly.
But like we said, you have to be willing and able, you know, to learn and apply them.
I just thought about this. And when we're going back to that first key about showing love and respect to one another, because we're saying this can affect your communication today, I promise you, if you let them know, you know what, I want to apologize to you if I haven't respected or made you feel honored for who you are. I want you to know that's going to be a different. And from this day forward, I'm going to do that. I promise. So that's going to help, because again, you just got that man's attention. And if you're the man talking to your wife or talking to your partner, and you're actually saying, you know what, I may not have been showing you the love that you deserve or the appreciation, but I value you. And I promise you, from this day forward, I'm going to start doing that. That's going to help that, as we're saying today. You may get you something tonight by doing that. I'm just saying.
All righty then. First key, like we said, is, you know, ask your spouse what speaks love to them and what speaks respect to them. And like we said, you know, be willing to to learn and just, begin to change. Our second key was actually, showing them undivided attention and looking into their eyes and acknowledging them, and their words when you're speaking to them, so they'll know that they're validated. That's key. They need to know that they're valued, they're appreciated, they're respected for their words.
And not to respond with not to react with retaliation, but respond with value and appreciation.
Yes. And the last one, like Coach Martez had just said, for men, you want to make sure you create a visual picture for them. And create that image. And he went into, explaining that. But I do want to make sure that we take time, before the end of our show to talk about, our 5th annual Married for Life walk. Is an event.
Woo, number 5.
Number 5.
2017.
Yes, number 5.
Yeah, we got to shout out Team DeVoe, Ronnie and Shamar DeVoe. Have been with us here from the beginning. Brenda McGregor, Rita Sims coming from Columbus. But definitely this is year number 5.
This is year number 5. It's going to be April the 22nd and 23rd in Atlanta, Georgia. And we're just inviting everyone to attend. You can go to married4lifewalk.com for more information, but we're just looking forward to, all the couples being, because with COVID, we didn't do anything this year. Last year we did virtual, and it's really not the same, so we just held out this year. And so next year, we're just looking forward to coming back in person.
Practicing
social distancing.
Protocol,
exactly. It's going to be good.
And we're adding an additional day because we're doing more things. So it's actually going to be Friday and Saturday. But we're going to tell you more. The walk will be Saturday morning. The love event, the love celebration will still be that Saturday evening. But Friday is going to be a day of just empowerment, encouragement, just other things. And we got some fun scheduled for Friday evening too. So no, this one's going to be good.
Yeah, it's going to be good. So
this is the 5th year. 5 is the number of grace.
That's right. So we invite all couples, married, engaged, dating. When you say single, not single. You need to be dating. You need to have a partner. And really, honestly, I prefer
singles can be the volunteers.
We can have the singles have to. We love the singles to volunteer.
We love the singles.
But we want you to be in a committed relationship too, because it's the Married for Life walk. That's what we're talking about, commitment and just encouraging couples to just never let go.
Never giving up on each other.
Don't never let go of the hand you're holding. We all experience challenges and issues in our relationship, but if we remain committed to God and one another, we can overcome it. We're a testament to that. And there's so many other couples who are a testament to that. So we just want to keep everyone encouraged and just helping to provide tools that you can use, in your relationship. All right. So, and then also, you all know, we already shared that how to contact us, dreambuilderscoaching.net.
That's on the internet. And then you got Dream Builders Marriage Coaching and Counseling on Facebook, and Instagram, Coach Martez.
And with Drina Layton.
And also you can do Instagram Married for Life Walk, and also Facebook Married the number 4 Life Walk. And also, if you want to just visit the website, it would be married the number 4lifewalk.com.
That is correct. And so Martez, share your inspirational moment.
No, so definitely I just wanted to share this definitely with the women. I just wanted to say, although Adrena and I have been married for 30 years, and this is something that, we're good at now. I haven't always been a good communicator. I haven't always been a person that valued my wife or showed her appreciation. But I just want you to know, it's in your husband. It's there. When you fell in love with him, it was there. The love, respect, and the value. And I just want you to know, he can learn, he can change, he can grow, and so I just want to say, don't give up on them. Don't give up on the men that think that they can't. And there's a scripture here I wanted to read. Here it is. Here is 1 Peter 3:7. 1 Peter 3:7. And this is something to the men I want you to just hear. It says, husbands, in the same way, be considerate as you live with your wives, and treat them with respect as the weaker partner and as heirs with you the gracious gift of life, so that nothing will hinder your prayers. I just want you to know, it's important to treat your wife with the respect and with the grace, because in actuality, the Bible talks about how your prayers could be hindered. And I just want you to know, as you all are praying for one another and believing God for that change, I'm telling you, it happens. Sometimes you just may want to touch together and pray together and just say, God, help us to improve in our communication, to speak with one another with grace and compassion and truth. But I just wanted to encourage you, you know, don't give up on each other. Don't think it can't change. He's been talking like this, coach, or they just don't want to understand. No, Wadrina said that for years about me. Yeah. Actually, for 16 years. Yeah. Because for the first 16 years, it was not good, you know, from a communication standpoint. Yes. So I just want you to know, don't give up on each other, but just know with God, all things are possible. And for people that are listening to us and seeing us, you are seeing a direct decision to change. Yes. And so change is possible. Yes, it's possible. I just want you to know that change is possible. And it's necessary if you really love your spouse and you want to be committed to them for life. It's necessary. So we just want you to remember, you know, this is our motto. Healthy marriages do not happen by chance, but they happen by choice. Yes. So you need to be honest with yourself and be willing to be held accountable to the things that your partner may say to you without giving them back judgment or pushback. Make a commitment to accept change without conflict. I love that. So Martez and I want to thank everyone for tuning in to the Coach Martez and Wadrina Layton show. We had a wonderful time today. Please join us every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, and 12 p.m. Pacific. We would love to hear from you. So be sure to connect with us on social media, and we look forward to reading your comments. And just remember, next time, you know, feel free to call in to ask a question. And we know it's changed, like we said, it's in the middle of the day. We do understand, but leave your comments so we can see it the next time. But definitely have a wonderful week, and we'll see you back here next Wednesday. Yes. All right. All right. Let's go.
Thank you for tuning in to the Coach Martez and Wadrina Show on Transformation Talk Radio with certified professional life and marriage coach Martez Layton and licensed therapist Wadrina Layton. Understanding love, accepting truth, and changing perspective. Coach Martez and Wadrina Layton have been working with OWL-bound couples to strengthen their relationships for the betterment of their lives for 20 years, and it is in their divine role in life to do so. For more information or to schedule an appointment with Coach Martez and Wadrina, go to dreambuilderscoaching.net. That is dreambuilderscoaching.net.